is bad. Oh, jeez. Alright, there we go. Alright, good morning. Oh. There we go. Move that a little bit so that's getting me a little better. There we go. Alrighty. Hey, Monarch, how's it going? What is this YouTube profile pic that you've got going on here? What is this? Like some weird alien baby rage. What is that? It's because I'm working on my uni statement. Oh, good enough. Good. Get that done. Nail it. It's Bibble from Bibble's Fairytopia. I don't from it's hold on. It's Bibble from Barbie Fairytopia. It looks cursed, is what it looks like. My gosh. But you know what? It's from Barbie, so I guess it would be. Gosh. That is disgusting. He's an absolute creature. He's not the only one. This should be moved to down here. Why won't it let me? Okay, I'm not sure why I wasn't letting me do that, but whatever. All right, where was I? So I finished off yesterday with oh my goodness, can't type all of a sudden. With the critical nonsense. No massive damage. Taking damage that would put you below your max below your negative max HP no longer kills you outright. What was the reason? What was my reasoning for this? Because I can think of a lot of reasons for this. Should fix this. Alrighty, this one is just straight up feel. This one is just a straight up feel than anything. What? Okay. Or feel than anything. With the way that 5e does negative hit points, I am of the mind that one of three things. Too little, like at low level, where a goblin rolling a nat 20 will kill half the cast. Too high, anything over 7th level, where the damage is not powerful enough to even have to worry about killing anyone outright, or the damage numbers have to be so high that players may as well have one hit point and the next one kills them. Mind you, I'm not afraid of having strong damage output, but massive damage rules just feel bad. This does not mean that you're going to survive a tunnel caving in on you. It's just so wayward critical hits don't kill the wizard when he's at full hit points. I think that's fine. Keep that as is. And then we get into like the actual custom stuff. Okay, so comfortable resting. When completing a long rest, you are in a safe place, such as a tavern. You recover all of your lost hit dice rather than half as much. A camping kit can be used while not in a safe place to recover in the same way. If a camping kit is used during the short rest, you recover your max roll of hit dice. Camping kit 100. I should actually add a few things to this, that camping kits are also, what's the word I'm looking for here? One-time use. High quality wood, food. Make resting in the wild a less stressful experience. This is being added. Yep. Shitting myself because I read minimum layer counts as maximum, and now I need to yap more than saying on topic. So here's what I do. Here's what I did. Anytime that I had a situation where I had to worry about breaking the illusion, there we go. Anytime I had to worry about min and max counts, I would just write my thing, and then as soon as I was done writing it, then I would either elaborate or shorten things afterwards. Like, just not care about word count until I was done writing it. That's how I dealt with it anyways. This is being added purely as an additional option for the players to have more healing outside of combat. As noticed that with 5.5, there should be a comma here. Players are more reliant on getting short rests, in. Players are practically forced into having a consistent form of healing to be able to keep going, or risk doing long rests while adventuring more often. This allows the players a more goal-efficient way to keep going over the long term, potentially alleviating the need for a healing-focused character. I'm a professional yapper, just not about myself. I feel that. I feel that a lot. Okay, copy this. And put it in the actual thing here. Alright, lingering injuries. We need to make a table for this. And I know a guy. Alright, so lingering injuries. When you get lingering injuries, you reduce the number of max hit dice from your pool that you can use to recover hit points by 1. Taking a week of resting to recover will heal any injuries you have. Should you have more injuries than you have levels, the next time you become unconscious, you remain that way until you recover for a week. I may change this. First, a combination. This is Robot Mike keeps making an appearance. That's annoying. Why is it doing that? Oh, I dropped a few frames. I don't know why. Hold on, did it drop? I don't know why it's dropping frames. I'm not even, like, I'm sitting at 9%. Must have had, like, a lapse on the PC or something like that. Hold on. Why is Microsoft Edge open? Go away. Oh, fine. Go away. Yeah, it seems whenever I'm opening stuff, it does that. Here's what we do. I'm gonna close that. I don't need that open. Close this. There, that should help a bunch. And then I'll do that so I can actually see what's going on over here. There we go, that should help it a bunch. Oh, because my headband is green. Okay, that actually explains a lot. Okay, that should solve that. As long as it's not bad now, it should be fine. Actually, if I do this, that's other properties. Okay, there we go. Let's see here. Lingering injuries. That's where we were. This needs to be fixed. Pool recover by. When you gain a lingering injury, you reduce the number of max hit dice of mixed hit dice from your pool that you can use to recover hit points. This is actually just wrong, too elaborate. Your max hit dice by 1. Taking a week to recover heals this and all that other stuff. Okay. This is first to accommodate the desperate measures options from the what's it? Is it 0 hit point options? Yeah. 0. There we go. 0 hit point options. To accommodate the 0 hit point options. Is to accommodate desperate measures. In 0 hit point options. Second, this is so I can expand the means of risk for players over a long time frame, not taking time or being forced by circumstances. Will over the long term eventually limit your ability to heal effectively outside of battle. I think I need to change this a little bit. I feel like it'd be better if this is just a single option and we generate a whole lingering injury table instead. We'll come back to this. This maybe change later to this maybe change later to have later into it has many options on it. This being one of them. That's why. Turn that. Oh. I can move it slightly closer. Why am I stupid with this? Goodness, this freaking thing. I had it in a good spot before. That doesn't want to cooperate with me. There we go. Nope. There, I think we got it. Okay. probably right back where it was too. Problem is that it keeps cutting off my big forehead because I'm too close to it. Actually, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna break the illusion for a little bit, but whatever. It's already broken. Yay. This way a little bit. Nope, that's... Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. I'm gonna do this. I'll do that. Ugh. Okay. Put this. Okay.
Welcome home, Columbia. Beautiful, beautiful. Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions. Liftoff of mission 41B, the first flight of the orbiter Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery, Houston, friends.
All right, there we go. That's much better. Yeah, I like that angle a lot more. Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Also keeps the... Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. And my microphone's still being picked up pretty cleanly too. Awesome. I'll turn this up actually just slightly, I think. All right, current internal struggle is getting a list that is not character destroying. Being impactful on performance. So I don't want to end up with a position where my players are just going to have like a static spiral of problems. I think reducing the number of hit dice that you have access to can be a good way of doing that. But that can get out of hand really quickly. I think this is a fine placeholder for the time being, and then we go from there as needed. What is... What is this? Right here. Oh, it's just because it's dark there. Okay. I don't have any lights, do I? No, I don't. Okay. Alright, well, I'll just do this. Oops. There. Problem solved. Where is my line for this anyway? Oh, it's right there. Okay. I'm gonna actually move this over this way. A hair then. Alright. This is as is, but subject to change. Okay. And then lastly, I know a guy. When in part of the world that you spend a significant amount of time and you are able to know a guy that can give you basic information into the location. This is separate from characters of mention in the backstory if necessary. The reasons. This is less of a rule for mechanics and more to give an understanding of freedom that players have to just do things. This helps me, the GM, a fair bit. It allows me to talk about current events or just give an exposition to the party in a way that makes sense. Generally, these NPCs are considered neutral to the character in question. They just happen to be familiar with the PC and are willing to make small talk or possibly spread a rumor or two. It's just death. Yeah, fair enough. All right. Yeah, I think that explains it just fine. Okay, so my homebrew rules are pretty well figured out, set up, and everything. Lingering injuries is subject to change, but otherwise it's fine. Everything is basically left as is. Excellent. Now, that's supposed to be in here. Let's get into making a character. Okay, going over everything. That's here. Classes. Make a character, you have a number of choices. Ability scores, backgrounds, races, class, origin, so on. Class. Start by choosing a class you wish to play. For most characters, this will be the primary means that which you will be gaining features and abilities. Each class has an ability score or two that is prioritized over others. Keep in mind that when building your character, as some ideas will inherently be less effective. Furthermore, 5.5, these source classes are automatically accepted. Anything past that needs to be discussed. Question: would I be able to make a trickster cleric for the beholder fight, or would they just be useless? Do you mean for the last talk? Not the beholder. The beholder's the main character stuff. You might be thinking of like the side world boss thing, which is the last talk, which is not a beholder. Trickster cleric wouldn't be useless against a beholder. In fact, they're one of the few subtypes that may actually be able to do okay, because they can do funky dunky stuff against a beholder, although beholders are really good at dealing with that. That would be fine, in all honesty. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't be. All right. Races. Well, the game is in the 5.5 rule set. That does not mean you can't pick from previous books. Most are easy conversions, and any that are not will have a stand-in for mechanics and will be worked on by the GM. I still need to figure out when I'm going to run that. The last talk, if you guys even end up in a position to do that. Well, I guess the device is now in the possession of Fairweather, so it's not like you have to worry about it just randomly going off. Alrighty. Choosing a background from the list of backgrounds provided in the 2020 in the 5.5. Backgrounds in 5.5. If none of what is present works for your character you wish to make, talk to the GM about it, and there's a good chance that there's some minor change that we can make to accommodate. Origins. When playing in the Fractured Shores, you have a little extra to do when creating your character. You choose where you are from. This is intended to provide more in-game context of your character and some form of general thing that large groups of people from the area would have. Everything can be found in the archipelago. Oh, you're fine. You're more than halfway there. Better grab my coffee mug. Damn bugs. Okay, when it comes to abilities, what do you have? 3 choices to pick from, each providing different benefits. You plug these into whatever scores you want before adding bonuses to the background or origin. We need to change this. These are 3 points. These are too strong compared to baseline stuff. Ember, what are you doing awake? I need to theory craft this a little bit. Alright, so I'm just gonna go standard array / point by. What is standard array anyways? I believe it's 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. Okay. We're gonna go with standard array. It's 2 hours. Standard array, which is 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. We're going to change this to 15, 14, you need 3 points for this. We're going 15, 15, 11, 10, 10, 8. I think you can do that. Point by calculator. Here we go. I want to just do this. I'm going to set a couple of Cessna setups real quick, nice and easy. Put this up to 15. 2 15s. An 11. 10, 10. 10? Okay, 10, 10, 10. Eight, 8, 8. And if we change these down to 14s, we can get this up to 13. Oh, it just keeps going up. Okay, I see. We're just gonna go to this here. Okay. All right, point by calculator. There we go. I'm gonna make a couple of different setups here. So, let's make one with two 15s in it. We need to get rid of some points here. So, $15, $13, $10, $10, $8. Standard array. Too big, which is 15, 15, 13, 10, 10, 8. Oh man, Ironwood, welcome. How's it going? It's going pretty good, thank you. Hope things are going pretty well yourself. And then we'll go shelf. I'm making some sort of. So what I'm doing is I'm setting up some starting attribute options for people to be able to pick so that they have them kind of just there. And if they don't want to go through the process of doing point by, and then point by there, you're fine, man. And then point by is there for the purposes of if people want to get into the nitty gritty and pick specific outcomes, they can. There we go. And point by, and we're gonna actually just do this. That point by calculator, and it has 27 points on it by default. Okay. There's something called Razzle Dazzle, which is a 17, 16, 11, 8, 5, something, and then something else. Yeah. That's just crazy. But the weak stats are less bad than they used to be, because most classes are not as many stat dependent as they used to be. And then the other thing also is that negative ability point damage doesn't really exist anymore either. Because that used to be a big thing with poisons, was negative ability stats. All right, you have a few choices that you can pick from, each providing different benefits. I have my complaints somewhat. Yeah, I still have my issues with 5th edition, like with 5.5. Like, the biggest issue that I think a lot of people have kind of pointed out is that they think that it's still too many, it's too epic, and like it's too many big things that players can do. And my response to that is like, okay, that's fine. Play a different system then, because 5e is epic heroism. It's epic heroic fantasy. You want something grittier? Play 2nd edition or 3rd, or any of the OSR style TTRPGs that came out in the last half decade. My biggest gripe with 5th edition, and I think that as a practical thing, Advantage was really, really smart. As a mathematical thing, Advantage is awful. Like, I have so many issues with Advantage on a mathematical level. Oh, I need to change this from... Monarch, you have plenty of time. How long do you have to get this done? Okay. With the... And then we need to change this to... Alright, skillful, constitution, wisdom. Be tough. Alright, skill, survival, and hair, dueling, second one, long sword has. Okay, so this is a 16. Okay, so it's 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. Really? Robot mic? Why am I getting a robot mic? That's so annoying. Why does it do that? There's absolutely nothing here that's saying that it should be doing that. It fixes itself. Okay, that's fine, but why is it doing that? No, it's not Linux. But it's not an overload processor because the processor doesn't like my processor is resting at like 40. Like it's sitting at 40 and it's resting there. Like it spikes every once in a while up to like maybe high 40s. Moved over here instead of YouTube. Oh, processor heat. 1 second. What's that? Yeah, for sure. Processor heat should be fine. I don't have my processor heat right now. Let me... Actually, I can find it. It was gonna freak out for half a second there. It's no big deal. It could also just be because it's old at this point. Like, this is a 15-year-old computer. It's okay. I understand Celsius. It's fine. Why can't I find my processor heat?
Greetings, traveler.
Oh, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. Ah, there's the problem. Found you. I'm getting hard drive faults.
Thank you for your patronage.
Freshly baked Maury. Thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate it.
Discovery Houston, press to ATO.
Yeah, I'm getting like the very occasional hard drive set of hard drive faults. That'll do it. My disc is is spiking every once in a while. It is a hard disk, so it's not surprising. I'm gonna be honest. The fact that it runs as well as it does is a absolute like shock. Oh, and I just got notified that my Steel series needs to be updated. Oh, there's probably a bunch of problems with this that have just come with like with age. Do I have a throne? No, I don't have one. I can probably give out an SSD. I'm in a position where I no, I don't have a throne. I don't have a throne. I don't even know what that is. But yeah, this thing is in the process of like, this is a very old computer. Like, this is a computer I got in college, and it's and I'm in my 30s now. So to give you an idea, I'm running a GTX 560. If you want to know how old this thing is. It's a wish list? Oh, okay. Yeah. Has like one of the first i7s in it. Like back when hyper-threading was a new thing. It's 3 gigs. It's 3 gigs. Ow. There we go. Add 2 to this. Which puts it at 17. Add 1 to this, putting it at 14. Or sorry, 14. And then getting a +1 in strength from the origin. Where's the origin? Wingdom, gain +1 in strength and dexterity. Right. Putting this at 16 if we do that, and then putting this at 16. There we go. Don't toss in the old i7s. I have an i2 7th gen and it runs. Oh, that was a crispy 48 frames per second because I limited it to that. I mean, so here's the thing, right? You gotta remember, this is back when like StarCraft 2 was coming out, right? Like this is back when Heroes of the Storm was coming out and all that. Legacy of the Void, right? Like these were not small end games, right? And even to like people like, oh, blah blah blah, it's like it's nowhere near what it is today. Yeah, sure. when Dota 2 is not reborn. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where if you don't care about running at the top line graphical quality, then it's more than good enough. Like, I can run most games still. Now, I don't usually run super heavy games, and I just reduce the quality of things, get rid of shadows, and as soon as you get rid of shadows, everything just like fixes itself when it comes to like your demand on your PC. And suddenly it's crazy in the chat. Not that I'm complaining. All right, we're gonna do something real quick here. I'm gonna move a few things around here because if people are gonna be actually chatting, I want you guys to be able to actually see what you're doing, what you're saying. So, and we're gonna move the alerts to right above me, so people can actually see what's going on. People can actually chat and see what they're chatting about. There we go. To be fair, Monarch, you have the same profile picture on Twitch as you do on Discord. Hey, fair enough. Ember, what are you doing? Why are you still awake? Where's your tooth? The one right in the top of her mouth. Is that recent? Oh, okay. Lost another one, did you? Yeah? You got a big gap in your mouth. Now go back to bed, please. Really early. And I'm getting chilly over here because I am right next to the open door. So I'm gonna go grab a sweater real quick.
Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight of the orbital Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Oh.
Discovery's core computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh geez, lots of stuff. Okay, run campaign back in the day lasted a year and a half. Scheduling was hell though, to be fair. This time. Used to play once a week, that was absolute hell until I rescheduled bi-weekly. It's also everyone's dad at this point. Okay, listen. You're not wrong. DM can run a campaign with 3 different groups. Some campaigns for all 3. I'll put a poll in our chat. First group who could make the time that suit me got the game. Made the playtest players hustle to be available. Oh geez. If you have that kind of players, like that many people vying for spots, that is a way to weed things out a little bit. I couldn't do that though. I'd feel bad. I just run 3 campaigns instead. Also, not to be an advertisement, Andy, I made a TTRPG on D&D, and even though D&D is my first love, I make something that I love. Yeah, no, like I'm like, if you make cool stuff, then you make cool stuff. Like I have no problem. Like I steal stuff from people all the time and just try to put it into the game. I considered making my own system at one point, and I just kind of sat there and went, I don't really want to do that, because if I'm gonna do that, I want to do it right, and if I'm gonna do it right, I'm gonna make sure it's a product that I could actually put up for purchase, which puts me in kind of like the same category as like MCDM. So it's like I need a player base, I need a fan base, I need a bunch of people that are willing to get along with me and try to experiment with stuff and this and that. And there's too many other things that I need to just like do in order to get there. Phantom Portals, thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. Or Fandom Portals, not Phantom Portals, excuse me. Because I think it's what the community consensus is what attracted me to D&D. Fair enough. The other thing also is I don't know what I would make it about. Like, it would have to be something about something distinct, and I can't really think of anything that's distinct enough or something that I wouldn't just place something else to do. So, that's kind of like the spot that I'm at with that. Okay. This is all set up, good, done, fine, welcome, excellent, fantastic. This is the welcome page. I need to change this stuff. Okay, to the archipelago. All right, I need to change this to a JPEG. And we're gonna actually lift this up and put it over here and put this a little bit more. No, that doesn't work. Damn. All right, we'll just do this. It took me 9 years to create it. What are you making this with, by the way? This is Obsidian. So Obsidian is free. It's just a program that, so what it does is it takes files that are in your folder and just organizes them in a markdown style format. So it does a bunch of formatting with markdown. So it's not intense on the computer because it's literally just like fancy notepad. Now you can download a bunch of like modules and things like that to make it do a bunch of stuff, and there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can make it do. This is the kind of far more simplified World Anvil to how you're using it. Yeah, so there's a way that you can set it up as a website as well. So I'm using something called Digital Garden, and GitHub and Velocity, I think is how you say it. Velocity, something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But with Digital Garden and GitHub, I'm able to set up a very, very simplified website. It has very heavy limitations on how much space it can put up. I think it's a grand total of like 100 megabytes or something like that. But if everything I'm doing is text-based and all I need to do is just link embed or just link images from like Imgur, that cuts down on space. Because you can link embed images. So if I link embed images to show up as an embedded link as the image instead, then it can just from Imgur, then I actually reduce all the space necessary for it. And besides, most of it's just meant for gameplay information anyways. So anything that's picture oriented, I'm probably just going to use Discord for it anyways. I have a dedicated Discord server for my games specifically. That's not a public server. So that's something that is just kind of left as is. So it's a little bit easier for me to do that. So like, for example, I have my pantheons in here, and this is all my origin stuff. Like, this is the only image I have in here. Right now it's a PNG. I'm probably going to find a way to make it a WMD or something like that. Make it a lot smaller. This is also like a bare bones basic map too, now that I'm looking at it a little bit more. I think when I downloaded it, I don't think I could have made it as a WEBP. Is storage size a drama for you? Not really. It's just one of those things that's like, oh, I can't go adding a bunch of pictures to this. I have to go find a different way of doing it. It wasn't so much that it was a bad idea. It was more of like, oh, this is a fine idea. Made incarnate, yeah. I maybe I can now. I made this a while ago. I'm also not familiar with different format with the various formats like WEBD or EBP. I'm not familiar with what that format actually is, so I never bothered using it. I have to add a reference for uni, or I have to contact them and ask if I actually need one since I'm not in contact with any of them anymore. Fair enough. Anyways, that's more of a that's another time issue. This is something that I'm gonna address later on. I did make this in Incarnate like probably like 6 months ago, maybe even more, honestly. Incarnate is awesome. I think our Incarnate is passable if you're not spending money. If you're spending money, it's really good. It's just too steep for my blood, personally. I don't have that kind of loose change around. But yeah, Incarnate is good, is passable if you're using the free version. If you're using the paid version, you never need to use anything else. But I'm a dungeon draft guy. I have dungeon draft. I have a ton of assets, and yeah, like I really like the Forgotten Adventures assets. I use them all the time. They're great. I love them. I've got a bunch of prefabs. I love it. It's great. Okay, so we're gonna start with going through the origins of each area, making sure that the stuff for them is all good and fine. So let's start with our Vonder, which is over here, which actually does have which I forgot, does actually have a northern region that is very snowy. This is the shorthand version, which everything looks like it's good. All right, so Arvonder. This also let me go through my stuff and make sure that I've made all my linking correctly for them too. Arvonder is a realm of ancient verdant wilderness where sprawling old forests, glistening lakes, and winding with, not where, with. How many players are in this campaign, or are they making the campaign before the players join? So, a couple of things. So I'm actually running a pair of campaigns right now that are in a different continent set. Originally that game was supposed to end, was expected to end, I should say, somewhere around spring of this year is when I was kind of expecting it to finish. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I was expecting it to end around fall of last year, but last year's scheduling was just an absolute nightmare for some reason. 2025 was just a really weird, strange year for me and my players. So instead it ended up going into this year, and then I was originally expecting it to finish somewhere around springtime of this year. Somebody asked a really, really good question of a very, to get them access to a very powerful entity. So the long and short of it is that they could ask me a question as the GM that could get them, we'll say, information unfiltered. So they could ask me basically a question of any kind that the players could possibly want to ask. And they asked me a very, very, very good question, which caused the party to be able to talk to literal death, and now the campaign is going longer because they effectively found what is the secret ending. So that campaign is now going for probably at least until the fall this year. Possibly until spring possibly until spring of next year, depending on scheduling. Crawled it, I think is how you say that. Apologies if it's wrong. Welcome, welcome. We're getting there. Yes, you guys are. You guys are getting there. Ending in autumn would be a good place. Yeah. Looks at Monarch, Nano, and Druid. Yeah, they did that. That was them. Crawfish plus adult. Oh, crawdalt? Crawdalt? Something like that. But yes, so to go back to the original question, that is the reasoning for why the games are still going. And then this continent set is going to be for the next set of games. So because I know that there's going to be such an extended period of time before I get to run anything long term for this area, and so I may run, so I'm probably gonna run like a side game or a short game, like a level, like a 1 to 5, or something like a 1 to 4, 1 to 6 kind of time frame, or sorry, kind of level frame for this area, or this continent set, I should say, as a kind of like as a prologue. Wiki page, and I was surprised how easy it was to get a domain for free, honestly. Also, related notes: death, a deity or more of a really powerful creature, a aspect of existence, a being of creation. So technically higher in the so if you were to think about it this way, you got gods, you have gods, aspects, creators, colors. So you can think of like death as like the same kind of area as like a being of inception, or sorry, of not inception, what's the word I'm looking for here? Iteration. So like death is like on the hierarchy of like near the top. Gods are technically, gods are like, in the grand scheme of things, gods are kind of like top of mid tier. What's my process? That depends what you're asking about. I need you to be a little bit more specific, unfortunately. Animals thrive. Why is this? Not sure why this is like that, but whatever. World building. So my process is I create like large, so I'll take like large swaths of an area, put like kind of like something equivalent to a country, maybe a city, and build cultures in there and leave the rest of it kind of blank. When it comes to like world building. And the main reason for that is because if I find that if I leave it mostly blank, it gives the players a lot more access to make what they want, but it also gives them a space where they can go, oh, I have this idea. This sounds like a really cool spin on of an idea to spin on in this area. I'll strive to touch them even with the presence. Approximately 1,200 years ago, the once mighty Elven Empire suddenly and inexplicably collapsed. Its downfall preceded by 300 years of internal strife among. Just suddenly collapsed. Its downfall preceded by 300 years of internal strife among rival elven houses. Today, the legacy of that fractured era lives on in two dominant factions: the Imperials and the Nomads. Thanatos Imperium. Our stance Imperial Guard, cities. Call you real quick, be right back. Okay, cool. So this is actually a really good example of me just going through like what I actually do for world building of an area too. So I try to give like an exposition for the region, the factions that are working there, any major, like extremely major locations that are going on, and then I build background benefits for it. So I'm a proprietor that loves to give stuff to players. I love to give cool shit to players. That is like my favorite thing to do. I love magic items. I love boons. I love blessings. I love doing that. I love giving stuff to players. So what I'll do is I'll do like a main idea of kind of like, okay, if I go to this area, what does it feel like and what's the history? It's like, okay, so this is a big druidic place, right? Big forest. No, I didn't read your long one yet. So this is a this is a big forest. There's lots of nature here. There's the elves used to rule it indefinite, like without dispute. There was a 300-year civil war, which sounds long, but when you consider that that's only like a half a life for an elf, that's actually pretty long. Or that's actually not that bad. I'll do a little, and then it's like, okay, and then here, who are the factions? Well, do we have Thanatos Imperium, which is like the big elven empire, right? The guys that want the empire to be what it once was. The imperial elves, if you will. And then we have, in this case, I call it the Long Road, but that's basically the place where the nomads are. The nomadic elves travel on the Long Road, and they just keep moving, kind of as nature intended, kind of thing. And then, of course, there's a third party in this, because it's always good to have a third party, which is the Last Grove, hidden deep within the center. The forest sits the Last Grove, a sacred remnant of the old world before civilization, once flourishing haven of natural magic that now battles against a creeping corruption of the blighted heart. Dark forces have seeped into much of Arvander's woodland. Outside its core, the blight influence spreads it in erratic, root-like tendrils, making its true location elusive and ever dangerous to traverse the forest. And these are things that, like, if you're from this area, you know this. If you ask anybody in the area about the Long Road, the Last Grove, or Thanatos Imperium, they can tell you these things, right? This is basic information that you can very easily find out about. And from there, we get to background benefits. So this is something that I had inspired from, who was it? Arcadum. Is I originally liked the idea of back in the day where you gave players an extra level 1 feat. But this is back in 3.5, so this is so it was very different than modern feats. Getting an extra first level feat was really, really fun. You got a little more extra power, and that's all it was. So now Arcadum had a thing where he did origins kind of in the same way that I do them, and I actually really liked the idea, so I just stole it. It was an amazing world builder. I agree. I actually took a little bit of some of his methods have inspired the way that I do things. But I've picked up so many different ideas from so many different places over the course of time. So I've kind of adapted this a little bit to the 5.5 system a little bit, which is you get to pick one of 3 ability attributes based on the area. So you get to pick one, and you get a +1 to that. So it's possible to get to an 18 at level 1. It's possible, but you have to really push it, and you're going to have other stats that suffer. So, and then you get some background benefits, and those are basically based off of, what's the word here? Where they're more like, they're less like, they all have their own little style, but I try to go focus more on like culture as opposed to like cultural things. So it's where you grew up. So the big thing is like in this case, if you're from, so if you were raised under the weight of the dynasty, like as an imperial, you have stuff from that. So in this case, you would gain detect magic spell and can cast it once without spending a spell slot. Additionally, you gain 1 wizard cantrip of your choice, and you can use your spell. You use your spell casting stat of your choice if you are a spellcaster. Otherwise, use intelligence. Right? So nothing special. You get a cantrip and you get detect magic once per long rest. Right? Nothing crazy. Specifically, and it gives you 1 additional spell to your spell book. So it's like a boon of being raised, kind of like being in a family of lumberjacks. You would be proficient with the axe and strength. Yeah, that's the idea. So it's meant to be a little bit different from background, because background is, backgrounds are what you did. So here's the way I think about it. So here's the way that I think about this. Race is how you were born. Background is what you do, or background is what you used to do. Class is what you now is. So background is what you did. Class is what you do. Origin is where you grew up, is the environment that you grew up in. Five uni choices. What the fuck? I only want 1. Thanks. Fair enough. You had a question that you were asking me earlier. What's your basis for making gods? Because I'm a mess with those. In reference is a different by a different work of fiction or by a religion or religions in general. For the me, the gods feel out of place and weak in my games compared to players. To be fair, in my worlds they are a wanderer because they call wanderer of the realm, and they might be special compared to any other creature in the realm. So the way that I've approached gods is I've taken a few things. I've taken a few things. So the first thing that I did was I said, okay, I explore ideas. So I really like the idea of the goodly deities being imperfect. Gods being imperfect make them interesting. Because perfect entities are not interesting in a game of D&D. So I try to do with the idea like every deity has at least one thing that makes them problematic. So like Virgil is a really fun example of this, which is like Virgil, for example, he's the archangel style. And his big thing is, you know, glory, justice, and conquest. So the big thing is he is the idea of if you have lawful good and it becomes overbearing on the populace. So this goes to the idea of like justice over compassion. Pieces to add, and since they are already completed, nothing can be added. Exactly. So, and it also makes it difficult to butt heads with theology, right? An imperfect deity allows you to butt heads on its theology, which is very important for players as well, because then it allows for other players to cast doubt. It's 30 fucking British pounds to send to the episode. Yeah, welcome to education, where they overcharge everything for absolutely no reason. There's a reason I say just watch if your thing can be learned on YouTube, learn it on YouTube. So Virgil, for example, is the idea that if a child steals bread to survive, and the law declares that if you steal bread, you get your hand cut off, even though it's a child, you get your hand cut off. Right? That's the idea. Right? So you take the idea that on paper sounds amazing, and it's good for most people, but it's problematic for some. And I try to keep all my deities that are good, evil, and neutral inside of a society idea, a society concept. And then I tried to find ways that take evil deities and make them useful for society on the good paradigm. So like, for example, where is Durath, for example, is the concept of freedom. God's concepts in most games are way too black and white, and when should view as polytheism as altogether as a gray area. There's only one is just lighter and the other is darker. Yeah, the good way, the big thing I like to do is I said, what kind of concept is, what sort of theologies do I want players to butt heads on? So, for example, Durath is a really fun one. Durath is a deity that wants to kill deities because he thinks that deities shouldn't exist, right? So he's an oxymoron. So the idea is like, okay, the idea of Durath is absolute freedom, right? Freedom from all deities. But in order for him to be free of all deities, he has to become a deity in order to kill the deities. So there's a whole hilarious, there's a whole hilarious thing about it. He's just a god about being anti-god. So there's a huge irony here, which is fantastic, because that means that other clerics that are not of Durath's theology will butt heads with Durath's theology, because it's like, aren't you following a god? So that's that's kind of how I try to approach it, is like, how do I want what is a concept that I can get players to butt heads over? And then I just sort them by do they sway more towards problematic for society or favorable for society? Yeah, because, and the reason for that he's a god still is because the gods are very active. You can, people have literally seen God. An actual atheist in D&D, an actual atheist, or even someone who's agnostic, which I think is a little bit more, which is, I think, even less forgivable, honestly, is an extreme rarity. Some things, for example, that I'm exploring in this round of things that's a little bit different, because this is the same pantheon that I've had for a while, is the Matharan Church. So the Matharan Church is a church that's region specific. And they are all about like non-magic. Right? So they kind of like step on the toe. This church kind of steps on the toes of other deities a little bit, but because it demands that it is like, but it's a church that thinks of itself as the one true God. And this is very heavily inspired by the medieval Catholic Church. Yeah, exactly. Like it's one of those things where it's just like, now you can make whatever arguments you want. And I'm not saying that those are bad arguments. It's just that the amount of pushback that you will receive for it is astronomical. You know, like anything prior to, I would say, anything prior to maybe like 200 years ago, you would see immense pushback if you were not religious in some way, regardless of culture. Yeah, exactly. It's like, because the cat is now inside a box and you can't see it, it no longer exists. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Application sent in. Good shit. All right. Imperials. So Imperials and nomads. The life of a wanderer among the Arvander Wilds expanse is made you adaptable and resourceful. You value freedom, community, and the shared lore of the road. When you and up to 5 other creatures take a long rest, you do not require a camping set to have a comfortable rest. Which, this is not as huge as I think. This is not as huge as, I'm probably going to reduce the cost of the camping set a little bit to probably bring it down to like 70 as opposed to 100 gold. The camping set just lets you recover maximum number of hit dice, or maximum hit points on short rests, and lets you recover max hit dice if you're on the road. I was gonna say that you're an amazing world builder, or at least an organized one. Organized is probably the big thing is that I've been working on this for a very long time. So I would say that I've gotten to the point where it's very refined. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a good world builder, but I would say that I'm a refined world builder. Is that I've taken a lot of time to carefully refine a lot of things down and go, what works, what doesn't work, why does this work, why doesn't this work? I really appreciate you taking your time to indulge yourself in these stuff. Most people kind of give up when they see how much work being a DM is, but it's honestly rewarding. So actually, here's the thing. I don't think it's actually all that much work. Oh, what's going on with my camera? I think my camera just lapsed for a second there. Jeez. Oh, we just had some frames dropped. Okay, that explains that. Better than World Builder. I mean, I've put in the hours. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm good at it. But yeah, so like the big thing is like being a GM is actually not that, it doesn't take that much effort, especially when you consider like you can just take a setting that already exists, right? Like my advice to people is anytime they think that being a GM is difficult, just go look up the lazy GM. This guy can prep for a 3-hour session in about 30 minutes. Because the big thing, and I think this is the big thing that I think a lot of people forget about world building. I think you're quite good at Mr. Persona. Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Reaper. All right. Because here's the thing. Everything that you see that I'm doing on here, you don't have to do. You don't have to do any of this. None of this has to be done. All of this already exists somewhere else. You can just pick it up and use it. There is 1,000 free worlds out there with tons of fantastic information, in-depth explanations that you can just lift, use, steal, twist it slightly to make it your own, and run with it. There is 1,000,000 tables for everything. You do not need to do any major lifting to run a game. It's just practice. A lot of people are just intimidated by it. Everything that I do on here for the players is for me first. I do this because I love doing this. If I didn't love doing this, I wouldn't do it. I'd just lift stuff from other places. This is for me. It just happens to be that my players benefit from it as well. You have to love the process. You have to love doing it yourself if you want to world build. Like, I will tell people to the end of time, just go on Google like an idea, the most basic of concepts, even tens of thousands of worlds that you can just yoink and just refine or read it in your own world. Yeah, like it's, and the other thing also is I think a lot of people also think way too big. Like, just start with a village. Start with an adventure that you want to do. Create a tavern. Create 4 NPCs, a barkeeper, a random person from town, the person that you need to save, and the person giving you the job. Right? That's it. Create a tavern, those 4 NPCs, maybe like a shopkeeper on the side, can be a generic guy, if you even want to do that. And then just find like 3 maps, one of wilderness, one or two of a cave or a temple that's kind of half run down. You can find them on the internet, easy. Download them. Copy some monster stat blocks from 5e tools or from your monster manual if you have it. Done. Like 30 minutes of your time. You want to make regions, continents, deities, but they forget that the starting point, the lore. So the most important thing is you only have, this is the biggest thing, you only have so much creative energy. And everybody's amount of creative energy is different. Some people, it's just overflowing and they can't like put it down fast enough to when it's coming to where it's coming from. Others, they have a lot and they can just keep going and going and going. Some, they have very little. Adopt the lazy GM style. Start small, because the world is, you are not playing a game to facilitate a world. You are creating a world to facilitate a game. And you create what you need first. What you need, what the players will touch, what the players will interact with, what the players will ask about. And I'm going to tell you right now, unless you prompt them, they are not going to ask questions about things that are not their own ideas about their character. Unless you give them a reason to care, they won't. And honestly, thank God. There is that one weird guy that cares, right? There's that one autistic man's obsession with everything that is in the world, but that's a rarity. That's an oddity. That is not normal. You don't. That is the atypical player. I'm one of those people. Which is basically like, hey, here's lore, here's what you get. Yeah, and it doesn't have to go grandiose. Well, here's the other thing. I asked people about this. I said, yeah, you're not writing a novel. That's the first thing. But I say, if you're asking someone about a place, right? Like, I want to go to this city or whatever. What do people tell you if you're going to a city? They don't tell you the history of the city. They tell you where to go to get food. They tell you where to go to food that's really beautiful. They tell you where to go to buy neat things. Right? It's like, oh, I got this thing from this place. It's like, I heard about this location. Apparently they do amazing things like this. You don't go into the history of places. You talk about the things that you hear about today. When you talk about history of places, it's reminiscing. Gets reminded of the chest in the frozen reserve. Yeah. Yeah, the main thing is to send people on directions. Like, if players ask you more questions, then, you know, make up answers. And the best thing that you can do is if they start asking strange questions, like questions that feel like it's weird that someone might know this, or it's strange questions about the area, just have the NPC go, I don't know. Because most NPCs don't actually know very much. Most people concern themselves with their day and their job and their family. And that's kind of it. Like, modern day is very strange when it comes to like the way humans think. Let's see here. So this is very useful. As a protector of the lands, you understand the wilderness must be preserved against those who would exploit. I should actually put in a link here. Oh, what did I call it? Comfortable resting. If they start metagaming, give nondescript answers. Got it. Yeah, exactly. Like, you just go, this guy doesn't know the answer to this. Like, as simple as that. It's a very good way of putting things. We care more about the goblin stealing sticks that turn into bread than why the river flows upwards, because things that are present, unless you mention the river is flowing upwards, because it's a present first game. People live in the present. Like, people, generally speaking, are very bad at thinking about their future selves. Now, in a world where your future self is more likely to not exist, they care even less about it. Warden is a protector of the land. You understand the wilderness presents and those who would exploit it. You stand as a bulwark against the encroaching civilization and unchecked plunder of nature's bounty. When you're hit with an attack, you may use your reaction to impose a re-roll on the creature attacking you. You may pick which of the two rolls they take. So, a pretty powerful reaction. But it's when you are hit with an attack. So you can turn, so there's a pretty good chance that, like, if you turn it, you could turn a crit into a regular hit by using your reaction, but only on you. This is pretty strong, but I don't like the idea of having to take, of picking up, that might be too strong. I might have to change this to you take the new roll. You must take the new roll. The new roll, second roll. Alrighty. And then there's order members. Aligned with the druidic circle. that safeguards our Vonder's ancient magic. You are a dedicated steward of nature. Whether through magical practices or simple adherence to tradition, you have learned a means to turn magic to prevent it from harming living creatures. When you or an ally within 30 feet is about to take damage from a magical effect, you can use your reaction to reduce the amount of damage equal to 3 plus your level. This feature must be used, it can be maybe used a number of times equal to proficiency bonus per long rest. This is way too good. Plus half your level. That is way too powerful. I'm gonna say 2 plus half your level. Sir Darwining, welcome. Greetings and salutations. I think it was this one. Why I'm here today. I feel that. I think it's in here. Oh, here we go. This will help. With Tears tank healing. Yeah, I mean, it's also going to be like a one shot, so it won't be that big of a deal. Is this logging me in? I noticed that my bot is not doing things it should be doing. And I'm noticing this, of course, like 2 hours into the stream. I'm just here to learn a new way to bully my players. You ask them for them all to give you their dice so that they can no longer roll and they just lose. The last talk, the world boss that people have to eventually fight. Okay, that's not on, and it should be on. And this, yeah, there we go. You have yourself a good day. Thank you for entertaining me and answering some questions. You have a time. Yep. Cheers. Cheers, Ironwood. Appreciate you. Have yourself a lovely day. There we go.
Welcome home, Columbia. Beautiful, beautiful. Discovery 4 computers now have
I think, yeah, that would make sense. Nano is the one that would have that.
Discovery Houston, trim to ATO.
There we go. Okay, so this one looks like it's fine. This
Beautiful, beautiful.
requires that. This does not require that. Anywho, so what are we building? So I'm going through a bunch of stuff that I built a while ago, updating some stuff, making sure that's as is, or as it needs to be. Right now I'm working on basically character creation stuff. So I'm working on regional based origins. So this is something a little bit along the lines of like basically a little extra something to add to background. So instead of having class, race, background, you also pick an origin, which origin is the area, is the culture in which you grew up around in a lot of cases, or region. Oh my gosh. Why does it do that? I don't understand. Why does it do that? You know what? I bet you I know exactly what it is. I bet I know exactly what it is. We're going to do this. That should be there. So it gets rid of my EQ and my compressor. But that should fix it, because that means that's... I think what's happening is SteelSeries is lagging out. And just dying part way. So we're just going to do the raw microphone. Go to the filters here. Gain, compression. Okay. There's an EQ on here, isn't there? Oh, it's a 3-band EQ. Fine. We lower highs, boost mids, boost mids ever so slightly, add a little bit of low. There. Man, I gotta find a graphic EQ module. That should help it a bunch. Okay. In either case, I'm gonna go through and fix this. Well, I guess it doesn't need that. It's already here. Because we have Thanatonus Imperium as a linkable thing. We're gonna do this, actually. Can I do this? Let's see here. And if I do this... and make it so that it links that like that. Okay, so it does. Okay, so that's how I can do that. Cool. I learned something today. So just copy this. Paste it there. And then paste that there. We can lowercase that. Do. basically in the editing phase of this right now. Come on, there we go. Right. Lighted heart. Yep, that's all good and fine. This is all fine as is. Okay, excellent. Excellent. That's all good. All right. I actually really like where our Arvonder is. Okay, Craigguard. Where's Craigguard again? That's in the middle here? Yeah, it is. Okay. What time is it? Okay. Just checking time. I'm going to do something real quick here. With my, for food. I'm going to get that. I got to put some stuff on for, like, to eat. I'm going to do that real quick. I'll be back. And then that's going to be me, like, kind of coming and going a little bit as I make some food, some food for myself. I'll be right back. Did some chores. All right. Cheers, Monarch. Have yourself a good night. Or day, I should say. It's like mid-afternoon over there, ain't it? Okay. Kreggard is known as the last kingdom of the dwarves. Rolling hills intersected by a vast range of rugged, towering mountains. Its landscape is carved by ancient volcanoes. And its valleys echo with the clang of hammers and the roar of mighty forges. Law and order are upheld with the utmost rigor in the stalwart realm, rather. Where tradition and duty run as deep as the veins of its precious ore. 2 ages ago, in a desperate bid for survival and unity, the kingdom forged an unlikely alliance with the native dragons. I should actually make this a thing. The native dragons, together, they waged a fierce campaign against the metallic and chromatic dragons of Draconia, in an alliance that has been kept to this day. The Iron Citadel. Colossal fortress carved into the side of the high peaks. The Iron Citadel is a seat of Kreggard's power. Its impregnable stronghold is not only host to the royal family and the ruling council, but also serves as a military academy where the kingdom's finest warriors and tacticians are forged to the heat of discipline and tradition. In Kreggard, every dwarf is raised to uphold strict code of conduct, duty, and tradition. Ancient customs govern everything from law and governance to warfare and craftsmanship. The memory of these alliance victories and great creations celebrated with grand feasts. Are celebrated with grand feasts. The ancient alliance with the native dragons is infused with the culture, with an element of both culture, both magical and martial pride. Both magical and martial. These dwarves see the kingdom as both These dwarves see the dragons as both mentors and protectors. This is upheld even to this day as both Krygard and the Finland dynasty, keeping their lands and old agreements of trade. While of late tensions seem to have risen inside of Krygard, a general mistrust from some that the old bargains might not always be upheld. The Dragon Roost. Nestled high in the craggy mountains, the Dragon's Roost. There should be the. The Dragon's Roost is a sacred ground where native dragons once met in alliance with the dwarves. This hallowed site features vast caverns adorned with ancient ruins and murals depicting epic battles of the past ages. It is here the Krygard warriors renew their oaths in honor of the kingdom's guardians and commune with the spirits of the draconic allies. Oh, what? Okay, let's see here. Oh wait, no, I don't want that. I want events. There we go. Oh, all right. Let's see here. Strength, Constitution, Intelligence makes a lot of sense. You train under the shadow of the mighty dragons allied with your people. Mastering techniques that for the old dragon combatant. Once per short or long rest, as an action, you can let a fearsome roar like that of an old dragon, of the old dragons. All creatures within a 15-foot emanation. I thought that looked wide. Must make a wisdom saving throw against the DC equal to your 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus strength, constitution, or charisma modifier. Or become frightened until the end of your next turn. Yeah, so they can just make people frightened of them in general for a round. Which, trading your turn to give everything frightened is not a bad ability. Scales DC, it lets you scale it with your strength or your con. It's pretty good for martial-oriented characters. It's a useful tool for charisma-based characters that don't want to spend a spell slot because they may not have many spell slots. It's good for the early game. Lore Masters. Centuries old recorded history. You gain steeped into the lore. You gain expertise in arcana, history, nature, or religion, even if you were not proficient in it before. You also gain proficiency in calligrapher's tools. Pretty simple. Gain an expertise. Deep Delvers. Mine deep into the tunnels of Cragguard. Uncovers secrets behind both in stone and in ancient text. When attempting to navigate or track creatures in the underground, you make your survival checks with advantage. Furthermore, when making checks to understand old scripts, maps... Oh, hello there, spider. Furthermore, when making checks to understand old scripts, maps, and the like, you do so with advantage. Carouser. One moment.
Liftoff of mission 41D. First flight in the orbit of Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. 3, 2, 1, 0, 0. Discovery, go and throttle up. Discovery's 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
All right. Carousers. A little bit of food for the time being. All right. Let's see here. Even in the kingdom defined by doing our moments of revelry and mirth abound. The carousers of the guard know how to celebrate life's victories and forget its hardships for a night. I don't know why I have it hyphened. So weird. Once per long rest, you can evoke the spirit of festivity. For the next minute, you and up to 5 allies within 30 feet gain advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened as you rousingly cheer, bolstering everyone's resolve. Bolstering everyone's resolve. Affected creatures also gain temporary hit points equal to your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma modifier for the same duration. This is the temporary hit points things is just more of like a ribbon, honestly, at this point, because of how prevalent temporary hit points are in 5.5. Like, the amount of temp HP, the amount of temp HP I see being thrown around is ridiculous. Like, if there's multiple sources of it everywhere, that's fine, that's whatever, it creates options. But with how potent temp HP is right now and availability, crazy. Alright, Runebinder. Your Runes and Legends land you the insights in the formula that other craftsmen use to make their own creations. When a magical trap is found, you automatically know what the effect of the trap is. You can cast the Identify spell once per day without the material component. You gain proficiency with the Calligrapher's tools. Stalwart Watcher. Require unyielding the mountains themselves. You being trained to protect your kin at all costs, standing as a bulwark against both external threats and internal strife. During the long rest, you may forego resting to keep watch. If you do, you can't be surprised and automatically wake allies if danger approaches. Doing so counts as a long rest for you, but you do not recover any expended hit dice. A comfortable rest restores half of your hit dice instead of all. A comfortable rest while keeping watch in this way. Restores half your hit dice instead of all. There we go. A little clarification. Excellent. Next is Maledictra. A desolated wasteland cursed by Drath before his banishment to the Shadowfell, leaving behind strong negative energy that affects all that live there. People that live here are tasked with clearing the land of threats before they get too far north. All in the land are cursed or blessed, with some side effect of living as in the constant contact with the dark energies. All right. Grimshade. Grimshade, the city where the light never touches, stands as the capital for those who seeking refuge from the dangers from the roam beyond its towering walls. Permanently cloaked in darkness, the city is a maze of shadows and hidden corners, where the only illumination comes from dimly glowing lanterns and the occasional flicker of strange crystals embedded in the walls. The city's darkness serves as both protection and identity. Many come here to escape to escape, hiding from their past lives, enemies, or threats. We're going to get rid of enemies. The past lives or threats that lurk in the wild. For all its gloom, Grimshade offers safety with fortified gates and watchful eyes that ensure nothing gets into the north. But the darkness hides more than just people. Actually, yeah, no, that's right. Secrets are currency, and deals are often struck in the unseen corners of the city. Few ask questions, for in Grimshade, survival means trusting shadows. And we're gonna get rid of that last line. That's a bad line. At its heart lies the Black Citadel. Blackspire Citadel, a towering fortress. I should actually put this as a second. No, it's fine. Towering fortress of onyx stone. I should actually say onyx, not onyx stone. Right lies the Black Citadel, a towering fortress of onyx that serves as both a place of a palace and prison for the ruling council. Shadowy figures govern not with laws but with control, ensuring that chaos beyond the walls do not seep within. Trade, protection, and alliance keep the city strong, but it is fear that of what lies of the outside world that binds people together. From the elite who operate in the whispered corridors of to the laborers who toil in the shadowed streets, ambition here is muted, yet ever present. In Grimshade, survival is the prize, and power is held by those who navigate the darkness the best. Those who thrive here know that the city is as much a sanctuary as it should be as a prison. And every shadow has its master. Much better. All right. The outpost. A string of fortified camps along the coastline of the province, taking on the unforgiving darkness. Here, hunters, mercenaries, and desperate gatherers face the terrifying creatures that prowl the lands. Conditions are brutal, bitter cold, and relentless storms batter those who call this place home. But it is not the weather that most fear. The real threat lies in the dark creatures that emerge from the shadows, each more dangerous than the last. Yet, for all its dangers, the outposts offer something few other places can: wealth. The spoils of a successful hunt can set someone up for life. Rare materials, exotic trophies, and riches are promised to those brave enough to venture into the darkness and return with proof of their kill. But wealth comes with a cost, and for every hunter who returns a hero, there are many more who never return at all. Death is common in the land outside the city. It hangs in the air like an ever-present fog, a constant companion to those who live there. Some fall to its claws and fangs of the beast. Some fall to the claws and fangs of the beasts they hunt, while others simply vanish, swallowed up by the wilderness. Despite this, more come every day, drawn by the promise of fortune and the thrill of the hunt. The strong survive and the weak perish, and in the outposts, both are quickly forgotten. The havens. While it implies safety, those that live within them know the irony of the name. The havens is not a specific location in of itself, but rather refers to all the other places that people live within this cursed land. Their cultures vary, and often a new place will pop up, only to be replaced with one that was destroyed. Only to replace one that was destroyed not more than a few years prior. Basically, all the other locations that are not specifically well fortified or designed. This place is dangerous. Very dangerous. Alrighty. Backgrounds of... What the... Oh. Get rid of that. There we go. Let's see here. So, doubly afflicted. These are all work in progress. So these ones... These are the ones I had to address. I need to address. Doubly afflicted. You have become cursed with so many small things that you simply live with the problems that they bring about. Glass cracking, objects tipping over, or tripping over uneven ground are just some of the inconvenient things that happen to you. However, while one's life is burdened with misfortune, there is an upside. The more cursed you become, the more powerful they get. Whenever you have a negative on a d20 roll, you restore a number of hit points equal to the negative. You only get this benefit once per source. If a negative you would receive is a die roll, if the negative you receive is a die roll, you regain that die maximum, gaining 5 hit points. No. The negative you received is a die roll. You regain the amount rolled. Let's put that right there. That should be fine. Just turn this up slightly. There we go. That should be good. Yep. Awesome. Hopefully that sounds okay. Actually, I think I can make it so I can hear it. Hold on. Let's do this. Change it from... I don't think I can hear that. No, I can't. Can it? Nope. It's not playing back for some reason. Okay. Whatever. It's fine. It's coming through, according to OBS, it's coming through just fine. So, hopefully it is. Let's see here. You regain 5 hit points for disadvantage rolls. You only get this benefit once per source. And on the first time that effect is rolled.
I think this is fine. So this might be one of those cases, one of those things where every once in a while, if you would have disadvantage on a roll, you might just take the disadvantage on the roll because it gives you 5 hit points. Heals you a little bit, keeps you going. Wendigo Desire. One of the main forms of curses of the land, there takes one that hangs in the back of the mind of all that live in Maldictra. Those who are born without the aversion to consume their own. While it is very inconvenient at the best of times to eat mortal's corpse, this does allow one to increase their chances of survival in a crisis. When you would eat another mortal's corpse, you are not subject to the cannibalism table. You also do not move at half speed when moving through difficult terrain. I feel like I need to change this somehow. Like maybe like a maybe something that helps you resist cold. I don't know. This one needs to be dealt with. It's a little weird. I need to come back to this one. I need to brainstorm more ideas. Doomspoken. Endless muttering and whispers move about in your mind and lips to those that have minor yet strangely accurate. Hold on. Endless mutterings and whispers move about the mind and lips of those that have a minor yet strangely accurate premonitions. The possibility of events that flow like a river from the mouth of those that have heard the unspeakable. Alright, when a creature within 30 feet of you rolls above a 10 on any d20 test, you may instead, in 30 feet of you rolls it, you treat it instead as a 10. When you use the ability, the next d20 test you make is rolled with advantage. Once you've used the ability, you cannot use it again until you finish a long rest. When a creature within 30 feet of you rolls above a 10 on a d20 test, when you use the ability, the next d20 test you make is rolled with advantage. Yeah, I'm okay with that one. Those who live in the dark are not used to needing light around them. Shadowseer. While not able to enjoy the beauty of color, those that are able to see around them without eyes are less likely to be caught off guard. Your body is adapted to the absence of light around you, granting you line sight out to 30 feet. This is at the cost of your eyes not growing properly, rendering you blind. This makes you immune to the blinded condition, however, you are considered blinded when deafened. Do. Echoborn. And I am running out of time. Echoborn. The wails and screams of the accursed lands haunts your mind. While during the day, During the day, they are a distant voice. At night, they pierce your ears and disrupt your peace. Sometimes a voice is clear and maybe telling you something, or perhaps it is just their sanity. Leaving them. Who's to say? Whenever you take a rest, your ability to sleep is constantly disrupted, leaving you on the brink of waking at any moment. You are considered awake and alert during a short and long rest. You can no longer be surprised while rolling initiative. Basically, you get the elven resting feature while not being an elf, and you can no longer be surprised. Which basically means you no longer roll with disadvantage. I think this is actually fine. You don't get anything special for comfortable resting, unfortunately. Because this is actually just a straight up benefit. So, this works out. So we went through 3 of them. That's pretty good. I'm glad that we did. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 more to go through. I'll probably go through those tomorrow morning. I went through and changed a few things, explained a few things. Everything is going pretty good. We're going to publish multiple notes. Probably got like a small handful of things that it's got to deal with. Yep. Successfully published the notes. Excellent. So there's some minor updates that got made, some minor adjustments, some edits, some proper format changes, and we're all back, and it's all back to how it should be, at least for now. So, with that, I am gonna call it for today. I gotta get to work. Gotta leave kind of soon. Thank you everybody for swinging by that did. Really appreciate you guys for swinging by. Everyone that did. Special shout out to Ironwood Productions and Fandom Portals for the follows. And a special shout out to Ironwood Productions for gifting a tier 1 to Freshly Baked Mori. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate you all. Thank you for swinging by and doing all that. Your support and attention is heavily appreciated. And yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Until next time, which very well might be tomorrow morning. We'll see. Have a good day.